Starting the day off killing mosquitoes. Another day in Bali. Oh man. Let me fix my little bandana. We're about to get started, guys. Give people a few minutes to get here. Okay. The lighting should be good. I guess I should have done all this before I jumped on live. What can I say? Give it like 30 seconds for people to get here. And you guys watching the replay of this, always the first minute is kind of just like no rush, not jumping into it, but breathing, relaxing. See if anyone else is showing up for the live call. I spoke with some of you. Thank you guys so much for the feedback. I feel much better starting day 2. I'm getting the hang of this. This was like a whole new teaching live to a group of people is a new thing for me. And it's been very expansive, meaning that it's forced me to expand and push my boundaries because editing videos is a lot different than teaching it live. Teaching it live is you have to be on it. Let's go. We're making videos, I can cut, I can edit, I can take a break. So this has been a great experience for me so far, and you guys have been great with your questions, your comments. You all who have left me questions after, and can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let's make sure that's taken care of first. Can you guys hear me? Can someone just like say, yeah, we hear you? Yeah, thumbs up, something? Just so I know, just to make sure. Testing, 1, 2, 3. And I do realize that there is a delay as well. But yeah, can someone just let me know if you hear me? Oh, you hear me? Okay. Oh, Tiffany, you made it. Hannah, what's going on? This is so cool. Now it's like, because I saw you guys register, so I'm like, okay, yeah. And now I see you, and it's like, okay. Hannah, I remember you from yesterday. I feel like I'm getting to know you guys a little bit better. So welcome. Yeah, so teaching this thing is like, this is like a new experience for me teaching it live. And it's different as well from working one-on-one, because one-on-one I'm super intense. Like if you guys were like, if I was working with you guys and you guys showed up a minute late, I'd be like, hey, what are you showing up late for? Like, hey, be on time. So it's like I'm trying to balance like the super chill and at the same time almost speak to the public, speak to you guys. So it's like that one-on-one intensity plus like the speaking to everybody. That balance is what I'm trying to work on. But I want you guys to think of your questions. Again, like today. Today we're going to be, well, before we get started and talk about what we're going to talk today, I want you guys to, once again, as I said yesterday, a lot of the times when I'm coming up and I'm telling you these things, I want the questions. I want you to really dive deep into yourself. Just like yesterday when we started yesterday and I was asking you these questions, today I want you to do the same thing. I want you, when I ask the questions, to really dive deep. Go past your analytical mind. Go beyond your conditioning, which is hard, I know. But what is your soul saying? It's that little small voice. That little small voice when I say, hey, you know what you should be doing. That first thought you have is like, no, I don't. But if you really listen to your soul and you let your soul say something, you're like, yeah, I should be going out there and explaining my story more. So I implore you guys to listen to that small voice that's responding when I ask these questions. And leading to that, you need to understand, and if you guys who are in the mastermind, you know this. Hannah, I think you're in the mastermind. I think so, yeah. You understand that you have the 3 voices. You have 3 voices. And the first voice is always your intuition. It's the quietest. And you got to listen to it, because that second voice is that protection voice always. I know we're starting really deep, but this is something you need to know. This is like a framework for you guys. The second voice is that protection voice. So anytime I'm going to ask you a question, the first voice is going to respond as an intuition. Where I'm like, hey, you should be probably making videos like through on Instagram stories. You should talk about who are you. Your first voice is that intuition, like, yeah, I know I should, Luke. But the second voice, which is louder, that speaks louder, is the protection. It's keeping you safe. So don't make a video. Don't put yourself out there. That's not safe. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, you've never done that before. Are you going to be able to deal with the repercussions of someone being like, who are you? What do you know about it? So that's the second voice, which is loud. So you don't hear that first intuition, like, yeah, I should. No, 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 don't, because it's trying to keep you safe. That's why we're here. We've made it this far in humanity because of that voice. And the third voice is your ego. Don't do that. You're too cool for that. No, 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 don't. No, you don't need to do that. It's okay. Someone else will do it. You're fine. Keep how you look. You're fine. Everything's good. And so I implore you, when I'm asking the questions and the questions are coming up, that you are realizing, boom, like, which is that quiet voice? What is it saying? What is my soul saying? Because you realize, as much as this is about side hustle magic, it's so much more about the energy behind it, the energy that you have going into it, the energy that you have, the things that you won't share and you're not willing to do to find out. And you all just being in this course show that you're willing to take that action to dive deep and really figure out, like, why is this not working? What is going on? So this is just one thought I wanted to share with you guys as we go into today. And I want you guys to ask your questions. This is very important. I've done events like this, I've done lives, and I have no problem just going through my spiel, going through my speech, and boom, it's over. But for me, if I have an hour to talk, I prefer to talk for 20 minutes and answer questions for 40 minutes, because I can give you all of this information. I can literally just send you guys, like, I can just think of what I'm going to talk about, make a bunch of notes, and send you the notes. And there you go. I don't have to show up. But when I show up, it's to help you guys to integrate it. The integration is the key. And that's what I find the differences with live, because when you hear these questions, maybe watching the vlog, if people want to leave comments, I can't always get back to the comments as in depth. But anytime, if you guys are in any of my future programs, you'll see, because I'm sure some of you guys will show back up for in the next following months for new programs, you'll be more comfortable, but ask your questions. I'm here for you. I'm energetically here for you guys. Like, the only thing that really matters to me is is being here and showing up for you guys every day. I've been to run this, that the best time to run this was at 5 a.m. So I'm up around 4:30, 4:15 every day. And I'm excited to do it. Like, I'm really excited. I've had a long day yesterday. Today's gonna be a long day, but in the back of my mind, it's about this. It's about you guys. These next 2 days, sad that we're almost halfway over, but these next 2 days is about you all. So don't feel shy, don't feel nervous. Ask your questions. I love hearing from it, and it helps other people as well. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Oh, last thing. I want you to set an intent. Okay, so I want you guys just to breathe for a second. Okay, deep breath, deep breath. One more. Okay, now I want you to set an intent for today, like what you want to get out of this. Just to get more information isn't enough. To get something out, to learn how to integrate it, to really apply what you're going to hear. So I want you to set an intent for today. Okay? All right. All right. All right. All right. So today we are talking about money. Money, money, money. We're talking about money. This is the big thing that everyone wants to talk about when it comes to making their side hustle, what people want to talk about when it comes to building their brand, to all this kind of thing. It's money. It's money. Money. How can I make this money? And there's so many ways, as I told you guys yesterday, for creators to make money now. There's so many ways out there. But the one thing you have to understand, for all this to work, and this will be a loop into everything that we're going to talk about today. And today I'll try to keep it very short, and it's very simple, as crazy as you think. It will be a very long, drawn out thing. But what you need to understand, when it comes to money, your side hustle, whatever it is that you're trying to build, whatever the brand is you're trying to build, that the question you need to ask yourself is, what value are you bringing? What value are you bringing? This is a good question to ask when you're going about Whether Hannah for your bus, or I remember Kim yesterday for her travel agency. Tiffany, you're just here, so I'm just getting to know you. But I'm gonna be on you soon. Um, whatever that is, like, what value are you bringing? What value are you bringing to the world? Like, what is it? And some you might be like, well, I don't know. There we go. You're thinking about it. You've gotten to a point where you've got a block. I don't know what value I'm bringing to the world. Now, when you get to that block, this is where the work starts. So most of the time, what we do is we it's like, okay, what value am I going to bring to people today? I don't know. I don't know. And we sit around and we wait for a sign, or we just do nothing. But this is actually where the work starts. Diving in to figure out what the problem is. That's nothing. That's easy. Figuring out what the problem is. Like, okay, boom, it's not working because of this. I've done the work. I figured out what it is. No, you figured out where you need to work. So now it's like, how do I bring value? What is value? Like, how do I bring value with what I'm going to do? And there's a way to do it every time. This is why one reason you want to do is, hey, Kim, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was worried. I know it's late there. Thank you for joining, and thank you so much for your comments as well. Um, so when you're trying to figure out what value you want to bring to people, this is very important. And bringing value, you could bring value by just being you. It's one reason why I push so much, and I always will, to build your personal brand, because the value is you. You're bringing the value. Like, it's you, it's who you are, it's the things that you've been through. That's value for someone. Am I certified in building a side hustle? Am I certified in anything? No, but I can bring value. Did I go to a coaching school to be a basketball player? No, but if I work with your kid, I bet you I can make them be very good because I did it. We have the experience. We don't need anything more to provide value. We have all the value. All of you all here have $1 million idea. All of you guys here have an idea that can make you $500. All of you guys have an idea that can make you $100 online. All of you. So now it's just like, okay, no, how do I turn that into a value? And the next question I want you to ask is, what problem are you solving for people? What problem are you solving for people? You know, I was on the phone with my mentor yesterday, and we were in a group call. And, you know, for me, I've realized all this stuff that I was doing. I told them about, you know, we're really open in that group. And I was like, you know, I'm going down this program stretch of this part of the journey for me where I just want to teach people. Every month, I'm going to have a mastermind. I'm going to host all these programs. I want to get into one-on-one coaching with people. These are what I'm going into. And I was still unsure of, like, well, how am I going to do it? What's going to work on? And I was thinking about, what problem am I going to solve? Am I going to bring value? Of course I will. But then it hit me like, okay, the problem that I'm solving is people. And this was pointed out to me. People are searching for fulfillment. And it just hit me last night. Like, I almost cried on this Zoom call. And one of the people in this call did cry when they went on to theirs, because it just hits you and you're like, that's what I want to bring. That's what I'm going to bring to the world. I need to solve a bigger problem. Like, I came from a pro athlete background, 12 years as a pro. I brought value. I helped that team win and make it. That's why teams hired me and the countries flew me there to play for them. That was the value I was bringing for the team. But what problem did I solve? They weren't winning games. They wanted to win more games. So they were willing to, I got paid for that value that I brought, for that problem that they solved. They needed someone big and strong who could get rebounds and score. So that's the problem that I solved. And I got paid for that. So when it came to the reason why I went to Side Hustle Magic, because I wanted to solve bigger problems. I love the fact that when I scored a basket, or I was on the free throw line, or whatever it is, if you guys don't know basketball, when I had the ball, everyone was looking at me. And for that moment, I had everyone's attention. Every single eye, doesn't matter how many thousands of people were watching or hundreds of people, it doesn't matter. I had everyone's attention. And no matter what they were going through in their life at that time, it didn't matter. I remember just every time, get a dunk and point to the crowd running down. Everyone's screaming, everyone's laughing. Now, 20 minutes later, when the game's over, an hour later, they might be down and hurt and sad. But in that moment, I had them happy. And that's the feeling that I loved. So that was a good problem I solved, but I want to solve bigger ones. And that's why I went to the side hustle. That's when I went to YouTube, because I realized that I can have that same effect on millions of people. and I can have that effect while I'm sleeping. This was something that was big, you know? And actually, I'm gonna, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna take a note because I do want to come back to that for you. And this is another question that you need to ask yourself as well when it comes to money is how do you want to make your money? This is going to be later on I was going to talk about, but I'm feeling very intuitively led to speak about it now, is how do you guys want to make your money? How do you want to make your money? And I want you to think about that because you're like, oh, I just want to make money on my side hustle. But what does that mean? How do you want to make your money? So let me give you an example for me, and maybe this will help you to discover how you want to make your money. Like when you get paid, what determines when you get paid? Do you want to get paid just when you show up on the days you, like I'm going to work on Monday, I'm going to work on Tuesday, then I'm going to take a break and work on Friday. So you're only going to get paid Monday, Tuesday, and Friday? Is that how you want to get paid? Or do you want to get paid by, I want to create something that is just generating income all the time? You know, I think it was Warren Buffett who said, if you don't make money while you're asleep, you'll always be broke. This is a quote that I heard. And it didn't make sense to me at the time. I was like, what do you mean? Like I'm getting paid on a salary, so in basketball, so I'm just technically getting paid right now. But how do you want to make your money? So for me, I want to make money while I'm sleeping. Like I want to just be relaxing and I want to wake up and have money. I want to wake up and have money. So how do I have to do that? Because now you know how, now you can reverse engineer it to see what do I have to do that. You know, for me, I set up my life so that I can have a virtual store, basically. A personal brand is a virtual store. So people find you, they find your story, they read through your content. And now, if you have something for them to purchase that interests them or piques them and they're ready to take it, now all of a sudden they can get that. You don't have to be physically there. Like, I got no problem. Like, the next few months, I'm going to be doing lives all the time, which I'll charge for to make money. But I want it, that's not my main thing. I would want something like YouTube, where I'm sleeping, people can have benefit, where they can happy, I can provide value for them, and I don't have to show up to do it. Meaning I can just not post another video and people can still be watching, people can still purchase things, people I can still get paid for the AdSense. All this stuff can still work because that's how I want to make my money. Okay? And everyone has a different thing. This isn't a guidebook to how to make your first $1 million. This is not it. It's setting yourself up so that you understand how you want to do something. This is something that's very important, you know, because if you have to show up, because a lot of you want freedom, but if you have to show up every time to get paid, then that can be, for me, that's not freedom. Like if I'm having to worry, like, okay, I have to make this video, I have to do this, I'm only getting paid when I'm live, then that wasn't freedom for me. That almost felt like I was being trapped a little bit and I have to show up. What happens if I want to do this on Wednesday instead? You know, or what happens if I want to do this next week? Or am I able to change it and everything is okay? Like these are big things. Like if we were doing a talk right now, like and I had to show up and I'm meeting you guys somewhere in Chicago on today to do this, like, oh yeah, it's going to be a 3-day conference, and something happens, and my family member's sick, and I can't make it, and now I don't get that money, and now I don't get to help you guys, and that's it. That's a big problem. But now with the internet, that's not a problem at all. Like if something came up inside as a mentioned, guys, my internet wasn't working, we're going to reschedule this for tomorrow. I apologize. Like you can do that because it's via the internet. So you got to look at all the tools what you want and see how you can get there. It's a big reverse engineering part of it. Okay? Because one thing I want to say and then ask you guys questions after this is like a little uh, question set if you guys have any, so I don't just get caught going on a rant. What's more important than how much money you make for me? This is all for me. This is all through my journey. These are all just guidelines to help you guys. What's more important than how much money you make, in my eyes, is how you make your money. How you make your money. So making money as a pro athlete for me was awesome. That was great. That brought in this amount of money. Being a YouTuber early on, it brought me in this much money. Like it didn't bring in, and especially in the beginning, it didn't bring enough money for me to buy an SD card. But that $2 I made that month meant more to me than what I made for basketball because I made it doing what I love 100%, how I wanted to do it, when I wanted to do it, about me. And it's just through my perspective. No one's filtering it out. I could be myself. And it came at something that I created. And that was important. We get caught up so much in the how I make my money, how much money I'm gonna make, excuse me. And it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, but like how you make your money is very important. Okay, and let me get to these comments real quick. I didn't see the scroll down. Okay, wake up and have money. Absolutely, waking up and having money is the best. Like you should, like you need to set things up, and this is how you can do it. And for me, like to wake up, I want to wake up and be like, have emails from PayPal. That's like for me, that's a cool wake up. When it's like, oh, someone sent you this money, or hey, you just received this. That's a cool feeling, waking up to that. Waking up and being like, oh, I gotta go into work now. I need this money, so I'm gonna do it. That energetics that you have going into whatever it is you're gonna do is wrong. It's not wrong. It doesn't work as well. Let's say that. There's no such thing as right and wrong. There's what works and what doesn't work. And waking up, having something online. So Kim, your travel agency, if it's automated, then that's great. If people are seeing you and signing up and you're waking up like, oh, this person paid $50 to have a consultation with you at this amount this time, or whatever it is, this is huge. That's huge turn for energetics. And let me sip my coffee. I made a mistake yesterday and my coffee was freezing. So you guys understand that. Tiffany said, I want to move from trading hours for dollars to more passive income portals. Absolutely. I think I trading time for money is always this is one of those we talked about it yesterday about the prisons you can build yourself in. And if you create a side hustle that requires you to only make money when you're clocked in, you're kind of you're out of that 9 to 5 prison, so to speak, if that's what you don't want to be in and you're trying to escape that. And you've just built a better prison built by your own hands. That's the easy way to say it. Because what happens is now you're waking up and you have to do this to get money. So a lot of people here in Bali, as much as you think everyone here is making millions of dollars, it's not what you think. A lot of the people that I've met, I see them like, wow, they're doing great. And then we go to eat and they're like, oh, I don't really want to go. I'm like, what? You can't afford like a $5 thing and you boast all this stuff that you have all this money and everything, flashy lifestyle, and a lot of them, because they're working with trading their time, they're trading that time for money. But this is like next level. I probably shouldn't say this in a course on this basic of a price level, but the ultimate thing is to make money and then pay people to do things. So then you have more time. It's all about getting more time for you. That's it. It's all about getting more time for you. This is the entire thing, because as you're bringing in an income, now you can hire a team to do all that stuff that you used to do that took you 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours a day. So now all of a sudden you're paying them money so they can help build your brand, build whatever it is. And now you've got more time to stay in your zone of genius, which whatever that, for me, my zone of genius is making videos and doing this. Now, if I have to get caught up in editing the videos for Instagram and then editing videos for Facebook to make sure my Facebook, like if I have to do all this, all of a sudden my brain starts to go crazy. It's way too much. One of the, like I say, I shouldn't be talking about this in this kind of low price point of a course, but I love you guys and I want to give this information to you. Hiring people to do the things that you're not good at and you don't like to do, so you stay in your zone of genius, is one of the smartest options. The biggest myth and the biggest part that will hold so many people back is thinking you have to do it all yourself. Thinking you have to do everything yourself. What you need to do yourself is your zone of genius. You need to stay in your zone of genius. Mine is making videos and doing stuff like this. My zone of genius is not building a website. My zone of genius is not editing Instagram videos with subtitles under there. That's not my zone of genius. So anything I do outside of that, I'm trading my time for money. And this is a thing I try to stay away from. I have to give a talk to a school actually in Poland, in about a month, and I've been talking to this university. They want me to do a talk, and they want me to do it live for a bunch of classes. And I got this email, and I was like, that sounds great. And I've spoke to the school last year, and I just was saying that, can I just send you guys a video? And they're like, no, we want you to do it live. We want you to teach 6 classes live. And of course, they're paying me, which is cool. But that just triggered things in me where I'm trading my time for money. It's good money, but now I'm doing the time for money. And that doesn't even feel right. Because I'm like, I can send you guys a video. You can play for the 6 classes, and they can be watching it, and you guys can just pay me half the money, and then I can be here. I can send you the video tomorrow. You can play it next year, in 2 years, 5 years. Because this is my mindset now, trading time for money. This is not a good sign for me, because you need the time. This is the thing. You need the time. Like, I have people that I pay to do things for me because I don't want to do it. I want the time for me. Like I say, this is something I'll host in a higher price point of a class. I want to keep it very simple here, but because it's kind of step by step. If you don't understand it, it doesn't make sense. Like, I pay people so that I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to transcribe everything that I just said. You guys do that. You guys handle that. That way I can do what I want to do. Like, I want to be like a kid. I want to sit around. I want to be in my pool today. I want to play with my dog. I want to just relax today. So this is why you're paying someone to do that hard stuff and to do the things you don't like to do. That's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned. Thinking you have to do it yourself is the biggest myth. It's the biggest myth of all time. The only thing that makes you really do that is your pride, that you want to say, hey, I did it myself. Now, because I used to think that. I'm like, I edit the vlog, I post all this, I do all this. Now, of course, I will always edit the vlog myself. I love doing that. But transcribing my Instagram videos for Instagram, that would take me hours. And when you're in your zone of genius, one point someone told me is this a $10 an hour job or a $10 million an hour job? And like I say, in this class, I want to keep it very simple, but we'll talk about this in a higher tier class. If it's a $10 an hour job, outsource it. Give it to someone else. Pay someone to do that. Your zone of genius is the $10 million an hour job. And it's that simple. Like, oh, I don't know how to share this. I don't know how to make this landing page. I don't know how to do this. This is a $10 an hour job. You outsource that. You give it to someone else. But like I say, that's more of a higher tier class that I'll teach later. But you understand it. Okay, Hannah says, I want to utilize these digital options so I don't have a schedule or show up to a building to make money. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that kind of leads us into what I was going to say later today. Now, with the platforms, there is not a need to have a building. You can have a building, but now there's no need for it. You can do everything on your computer. You can do everything on your phone. Literally. Like, if I had to start all over again and I wanted to vlog and everything, I probably would. If I had to do everything again, I would just use my phone. Honestly, if I was really short on cash, didn't have money, I could literally, if I didn't do vlogs, I could just, if I didn't want to edit the vlogs, because that's my creative outlet, I love doing that, I just use my phone for everything. Because you don't need a building. That building, that money that you pay on the building, I can use that to travel overseas for months. If I'm going to pay $1,000, whatever it is, to have an office building, for what? And you also can sometimes stay small that way as well. When you realize the online space is huge, you can do everything online. And this is the power. The digital platforms make it easy, but the key is you have to be on them. And in the beginning, it's hard because you have to be everywhere. I don't know how this Twitter, or what is it called, how it works. Like, yeah, I understand, but that's where people are. That's where you need to be. Whatever, do one a day. Do it while you're sitting on the toilet. That's what I tell people. Easy. Write your post. When you're inspired, boom, write something. Post a picture. Post a picture of you with a coffee or just a coffee and write your thoughts. That's it. Because the thing about digital platforms is that they are working when you're not working. This is why online is powerful. While you're not working, it is working. It's open 24 hours a day. Like, there's people who weren't on the live session yesterday. There's people here who are watching this now as a replay. They're not watching it live. Now, if there was no internet, I'd have to call them up and repeat the same thing again, this whole spiel for another hour, hour and a half to them. Then one person wouldn't make it. I got to do it again. You see how I'm trading my time, but now I'm using a platform. So I'm giving my time for an hour and 15 minutes probably, and I'm talking, and then this goes in the digital space where now people can watch it. They can watch it they can watch it when they want to. They can watch it in an hour. You guys can replay this and watch it tomorrow. You can replay this and watch it in 3 weeks. You can watch it over and over again. I'm not having to give my time. When I clock out on day 4, it's done. My mind goes on to the next program, which is Untold. This is what my mind goes to. Well, probably a little bit later. I'm going to take a few days and be very grateful for you guys, honestly. I'm going to take like a very celebratory meal in honor of my inaugural masterclass. But after that, it's like, this is great. Now, 6 months from now, this same piece of content that I talked about, I will put this on sale. This will be for someone to buy, most likely. They can buy this and watch it and join the group, and I can make that whatever price I want to. Probably, I'll make it probably like $250 or something. I don't know. It's just a number. It doesn't really matter. And it's a digital platform. Do you find that people will read longer posts on Instagram? Depends on the person. Depends on what you're saying. There's no way to tell. And that can be a killer for you if you're trying to wonder, if you're wondering what, if you're trying to wonder what, if people will read it or not. One thing I can give you is don't worry about what people will read. Post how you feel. That's your analytical mind. Like, should I post all of this? If you're wondering that question, yes. If you want to write that, yeah, post it. Show people who you are. If they want to read it, that's fine. I have long posts, a lot of them transcribed from my videos. If people read it, that's great. People who don't, that's fine. But the people who read my long posts, those are the people who I love to have around. Those are the people who, as soon as I post it, they're sending me a message or they're leaving a comment like, yo, this is exactly how I feel. Oh my gosh, Luke, this is just what I was thinking the other day. So of course I would do long posts. Whatever you feel. It doesn't matter. We get this conditioning that it matters. It matters what the picture is. It needs to be edited. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Like literally, if I was in rush, I could take a picture of my foot with my sock on right now so the mosquitoes don't get my feet. Take a picture of it and be like, just wanted to let you guys know I love you guys. You guys mean the world. Don't beat yourselves up all the time. You're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Someone reads that there, that's great. Do they care that it was a picture of my foot with a sock? That doesn't really matter. It's almost like, yeah, got to get out of your mind about it. You know, just whatever you feel, Tiffany, write it. If it's long, if it's short, however it feels, you'll feel the energy's there. Some days you'll be like, oh, I just want to write one sentence. Like, I don't know what to say, guys, but I wanted to say I appreciate all of you guys being here. Simple, short, and it's received. But when you get caught up in that analysis paralysis, you end up writing nothing. For me, at least. That's how I'll be. Okay? Wendy, hello, hi. Now I know the time it is coming on. Yeah, if I have to do this program different, I would post it at different times because I realized that everyone didn't know. It's on that WIDA time zone because I'm here in Bali, so it's like 5 a.m. was the best time. Yeah, but in future programs, I will have like a countdown timer or something like this. Yeah, I will do this in the future. I'm learning. We live and we learn. Okay, next thing I wanted to speak on. When it comes to money, I feel like all my lights aren't on in here. Hold on, I'm gonna cut one more light on my place. I knew I was missing something. Boom, there we go. Okay, so next thing is focusing on money when you're trying to build your business. For me, has been one of the fastest ways not to make it. Focusing on the money has been sometimes the fastest way not to make it. Because now you're moving into that, I need money, so I'm gonna do this. And now the energetics going into it, it's not so great. You can imagine that. Like you'd be able to feel it if I said, guys, this masterclass this much, please join in. Like that's cool. Like you'd feel that energy and be like, that seems very needy. Like you would just feel that energy. It would be nothing that I said, but it would just be the energy behind it. But being like, hey, I want to help you guys out. This is something that will help you. You will be just like, oh my gosh, like this is when you speak from your truth and you really want to do something, people will be like, okay, yeah, I feel that. You really want to talk it. So it's very important that you understand that. When you just focus on the money, on how to do it, how's it gonna make money, that's great. A better question that I want you guys to ask yourself when you're designing something or you have this idea, how am I going to sell that? That's something that just came to me like a few months ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, when I was talking to one of my mentors. And they were like, I was saying that I want to help people feel fulfilled. I want to do this. And they're like, that's great. How are you going to sell that? And before, my mentality was never on that. I never thought like, oh, how am I going to sell that? I don't know. Um, yeah. And now you're forced to think, how are you going to sell that? You're on this journey to make yourself have a better life. How are you going to sell that? You're not focusing on money there. Now, if you say, how can I make $1 million with this idea? Now you're going to get into the analysis paralysis. But try asking yourself, how am I going to sell this? That's great. How are you going to sell that? So, Hannah, I think with the whole bus and you get in the bus and wanting to travel, how are you going to sell that? When it comes to the money, this is the question you need to ask. Now, when it comes to starting your content, starting things, I wouldn't even imagine that. Do it out of the love. Jump in that love energetics. But instead, if you've been doing it for 6 months and you're not making money, now is the time you should be thinking, like, how am I going to sell this? You should be making something. And this is a big problem that I didn't have in the beginning. So I didn't, for example, my YouTube, I didn't make any money for 6 months at all because I didn't know. I didn't know how. Like I loved what I did so much. I didn't know how to make it. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know about, oh, I can use the platforms. Oh, I should be on every platform showing different. I didn't know what I know now. The YouTube Accelerator course that I made is all about this. Was all about, yeah, have a way that you can actually make the money. One of the biggest ways is like people say they want something, but most of the time I've realized they're not ready for it. You're energetically not ready for it. So I meet a lot of people. Will give you an example of people like, I want to travel the world. Like when I'm traveling, I meet them. They're like, I want to travel the world, and I'm like, that's awesome. I just travel full time. You can come with me the next month. I have a really cool place. You're welcome to tag along. And they're like, well, actually, I can't, because I have this and well, you weren't ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. You're asking for something you're not ready for, and you wonder why you're not getting it. You're not ready to do it. If the opportunity is there, you're not ready for it. I will give you here, boom. Follow me. I'll pay for everything. I just need you to film me. You can come travel with me. And I can't. You weren't ready for it. You weren't ready for it. So it's very important that you make sure that you're actually ready to get what you want. For example, I wanted to make money on YouTube, but I wasn't ready for it. I didn't have a way to make any money on it. How are people going to pay me? How are people going to pay you? This is a good question to ask yourself. And on YouTube, I didn't have any way. If someone wanted to give me $10, they couldn't. I didn't have any PayPal link below. I didn't have any courses out. I didn't have a book out. I didn't have my email on there even. So when I started, this is something I should have thought of, which I think of now, of course. We always think about it after the fact. But I didn't have that in my mind. So one of the things you need to remember, though, and we'll go back to what we said in the beginning, is you need to bring value to people. Whatever that is, everyone has their own way of building value. You need to bring value to people. This is the end of it. This is the easiest way to say it. Bring value. People are paid off of the problems that they solve. Now, sometimes people aren't happy. So you can solve that problem. Make things that make you happy. Don't try to make them happy. What makes you happy? And talk about it. So it's hard to bring value when you stay small. So this is why you need to speak your truth all the time. Always, always speaking your truth. You have to speak your truth. If you don't speak your truth, none of it works because no one knows like what do you stand for. It's when you speak from your heart, from your soul, that's when you capture other people's souls. Like right now, I'm speaking to your soul. So there's so many of you guys watching the screen, like, it's from my soul. I'm not going through some strategy. It's like from your soul, what your truth is. This is why the whole program Untold is going to be out because people need to speak the truth. And as we talked about yesterday, before you can speak the truth to other people, you have to speak the truth to yourself. Okay? Let me get in these comments. And if you guys see me just like flopping around like that, it's just like there's a mosquito in my room. I left my door open for like a second. Welcome to Bali. Joshua, you're here. Good to see you. Hold on. Oh, I missed Wendy's comment real quick. Hold on, Josh. So we should say everything with truth. I love to talk to those words. Absolutely. And this is the thing, like, and yesterday we talked about it, and we'll talk about it as well tomorrow. But what do people say that you do a lot? People tell me I talk a lot, which is perfect. So I'm like, great. Now how can I sell that? Now my mentality is that. Like, how can I sell that? Because now you start to think of, you see options. It's not like, how am I gonna make $1 million talking? My heart. How am I gonna make $100 talking? How am I gonna sell that? There's a difference. It's a difference. So now, if I love to talk, boom. I love to talk. What do? I can talk in videos. Perfect. What can I do? Podcast. Perfect. Like, I made like a daily podcast for almost 2 years. I love to talk. It's easy. I have hundreds of episodes on the podcast. So easy. It's my zone of genius. It's simple. It's simple. And that is just a part of my brand. And my daily listeners on my podcast are a lot lower than everything else, but those are true listeners who show up every single day. And this is what matters. It's in my zone of genius. It's what I love to do. I love talking. It's perfect. Okay, Josh, I'm just being honest. I've been asking myself since I was 25 what I'm good at, and to this day, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I don't know about that. Like, I think what a lot of people end up doing, and maybe this will resonate with you or another, all of you. This is a great. I'm glad you brought this up. Is a lot of times we sit around like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm not sure which direction I should go. Like, for me, I sit around like, okay, I don't know what video to make today. I don't know. I can't figure out. Nothing gets solved when I do that. When I sit around thinking about what video to make, nothing ever happens. I mean, now I can know, but there's times where I'm like, I want to make a really cool video today. What do I do? And we sit around, and I talked about it yesterday real quick. We sit around and we wait for this sign, something to tell us what we're supposed to do. But what you have to do is you have to take action in one direction. Because in the action, you'll get a feeling, and from that feeling, that's your sign. What we end up doing is we sit around trying to think and think and think and try to remember. And it's really when you try things. I never made a video. I think I made a video like back when I was like, I don't know, when I was like 24 or something like this. I made a video. I made like my first video, and I just was like, okay, that was okay. I didn't really think anything of it. Then fast forward a few years later, Snapchat came out and I started making videos like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. And then all of a sudden, one day I was like, I just want to make other videos to try to help people using my computer and editing. And I figured it out. In the beginning, the vlogs were all made on an iPad. I didn't even use my computer. I didn't even know how to use iMovie. Then I started making it, and then I put it out there publicly. That was a big, excuse me, that was a big change for me, putting it out there publicly. Because we can think that that's so easy. I don't think that would help a lot of people. And then you see it does. And then you're like, oh, like my story can help people? Yeah. Everyone here, your story can help someone. You have an experience. You don't have to be certified. You have an experience that you've been through in your life and you've made it through it. You can help someone else make it through theirs. Your story, no matter how good, how bad, can help someone else. Even if it's to them to know the mistakes not to make. And it has to be done by taking action. It has to be done by taking action. And the easiest way is understanding in the online space, you have the 3 forms of content. We talked about it yesterday: voice, video, and written. So choose one of these and boom, start talking. one of the hacks that I use, hold on, let me take a sip of coffee. One of the hacks that you can use when in the online space is just start talking. When you look around, what are you drawn to? What are you attracted to? See it and start talking about it. Look at what's wrong with something and start talking about it. What don't you like about it? What can be in an appropriate way, of course. Like, what is it? Do you feel like, I feel trapped in this? I feel like there's more to life than this. You don't think jumping online every day and talking about you're trying to make it out of this 9 to 5 lifestyle or trying to build something on the side and you just talk about it to people, you'll attract the right people by doing it, you know? And this is something that's really important. And you need to find the pattern, look for the pattern. This is a key that will help you guys tremendously. It helps me all the time. What's the pattern in what the things that you like? The things that you like, the things that you're drawn to, what is the pattern? For me, I love being happy and doing what I love and being able to help people at the same time. This is my pattern I love. It has to be both. If I'm just being happy myself, that's okay. If I'm just helping other people, that's all right. But I'm my most optimum state when I'm helping myself, being happy, and someone else. This is exactly what for me is what works. And I just it's all about going inside your mind and thinking like, what is it that I love doing? What is it that not even the framework of if you could do one thing your whole life for free, what would you do? Because a lot of times that doesn't even work. So, for example, I don't remember what movie this is from. It was a great quote. The guy was just like, "Yo, I just want $1 million," and the other guy says, "Oh, really? What would you do? What's the first thing you'd do if you had $1 million?" And the guy's like, If I had $1 million, I would do nothing." And the guy was like, "Well, you don't need $1 million to do nothing." So you just kind of counterintuitive. That's why things don't arrive. You're not ready for it. You don't want it. You don't even need it. It's always in action going out there. It's going in action. If I were to give you right now, I'm going to give you $3,000. I'm going to give you $5,000 every month for the rest of your life. I hand that to you right now, Josh. I'm going to drop it in your account every single month, $5,000. What are you going to go do? And most people's first thought is like, "Oh, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to just travel the world." Yeah, that's cool, but there's going to be a point where you're bored and you're going to want to do something else while you're traveling. And this is why I would ask you to look into that, because it's cool being here in Bali, but if you have nothing to do and you're just sitting around all day, it gets boring fast. You can explore waterfalls, you can go to the beach, but trust me, you need that thing that makes you happy to do. And this is where you'd want to look into finding that what you would do after you had your little month off. What would you do? And start exploring in this area. And I completely understand this. I didn't figure out until I was just focused on what I truly enjoyed. Then some ideas came from nowhere as to how I can turn the money, and it's really weird. Of course, it's weird, and it's only weird because it doesn't make sense. We need to make sense of everything. Humans, we need to make sense. How is this going to work? What am I going to do? We have to make sense of it. And I'll tell you, the key is it not making sense. It shouldn't make sense. If you guys can, check out my last Instagram video. It's all about this. It's not going to make sense. This is the intuition inside talking. It's your soul yelling and screaming to you like, please just do this. But we have all this conditioning. Like, I'm not good enough. I don't think people like it. I don't even like myself when I do that. I think I look stupid like that. I don't think anyone cares about this. Why would anyone watch this? Why would anyone read this? These are all thoughts. If you went back to being a child, you would find out exactly what it is you like. Before all the conditioning, no, stay in your lane. Like, I got told not to wander around in school. I love walking around. I love exploring new things, but I got told not to do it. Like, I said this, I think, on my Instagram, but when I used to ask to go to the toilet in school, there was a toilet across the hall, and there was a toilet on the other side of the school. I would always go to the other toilet on the other side of the school. And I would get in trouble all the time. Like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm going to the bathroom." There's a bathroom right in front of there. I didn't want to go to the bathroom. I want to walk around. I want to explore. I want to peek into the classrooms. That's what I want to do. And to be honest, most of the time, I didn't even need to go to the toilet. I just wanted to explore and get out of the classroom. Now, imagine if I had suppressed that completely, because it doesn't make sense. Why do I want to roam the halls? I don't know why I want to walk around. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to put it away. And this is what we do constantly, constantly, constantly. And now all of a sudden, that's what I do. I roam around the world. I peek in this country, peek in this city, talk to these people. This is exactly what I do. It's exactly what I was told not to do. So what happens is we get told something's we're not good enough or we shouldn't do this, and then we suppress it. And the thing that you suppress and that part of you that you try to hide because you so many times you're told that you shouldn't do it, you can't do it, that's not right. That part of you that you hide, that's usually your breakthrough moment. That's your breakthrough thing to do. That part of you that you try to hide because it's like me talking too much in school. So I just hid that. And that's one of my greatest gifts of all. Wandering around, that's one of my greatest gifts of all. And all of these I hid. And luckily I broke free of that, of like, well, I still want to just do it anyways. And I was still drawn to it when I left school. But imagine if you're not, and you're just like, have people just tell you that you bury it. And it's just buried alive. And it's your soul screaming. And this is why you feel that uncomfortable feeling when you lay down and you're like, I should be doing more. But you're just blocked. It's called, like, if you guys ever can do this work, it's called inner child work. It's where you deblock all this stuff that you were taught at a young age. Because basically what happens by the age of 8, your mind is not like that sponge anymore. You've taken on the conditions of what you've been conditioned to do by your parents, by your cultures. It's ingrained in your mind, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. And then, for example, once someone does realize, they're not mad at you. I don't get mad at someone for being like, oh, you don't know what to do, like, just do that, because they're conditioned not to do it. Maybe I shouldn't say this story because it's inappropriate in the times we live in, but what they used to do is, before there were all these laws and activists and all this, what they would do is, this is a really sad story, but you'll understand the point, is what they used to do is they used to test on animals. They tested animals. So what they did is they took these cats and they put these cats in the box, in a dark box, and they just wanted to see, will these cats still develop in the dark? And at what point in time is there like a no going back? And what they did is they kept these cats in the dark in this box, or I don't know what it was. And over time, they take a cat out after 1 month, and the cat would take a while to be able to see and then learn how to walk and move better, and they'd be okay. Then 2 months, then 3 months, and 4 months, and they realize, like, wow, these cats can do this like almost all the time. They feel fine. But what they found was, at the 9 month mark, if these cats hadn't been out in the light, they never got their vision back. They never got their vision back. Because the way our mind works is, if we don't use something, then we lose it. We lose it. Your body's just like, we don't need that anymore. It's for what? What do we need to keep this function going? Your body adapts. Your body doesn't need to be told, like, oh, we cut your hand, we need you to think about healing. Your body just does it. It just does it. It's instinct. It's boom. And this is the same with what we do, how we're raised in our conditioning. Oh, you're not going to talk. You're not going to speak your truth. Perfect. We don't use that. And now it's in your mind, which is worse. Once it's in here, you can affect your body instantly. You can talk yourself out of anything because you know yourself so great. So imagine, once something's buried in your mind, you tell yourself a story. You tell yourself a story. You tell yourself a story. Before, that's your life. You were heartbroken at this time and you never changed. That's your story. And you live in that past, in that story. And the only way to break through that pattern, is to go at the pattern. You do the exact opposite. As hard as it seems, you go the exact opposite of it. You start sharing your truth online. You start talking. You start posting every day. That's how you break that pattern. Because finally your mind's going to be like, wow, this person is stronger than me. All right, let them do it. And that it just comes out. You'll feel when you're unblocked. You'll literally feel like you're going to cry. Like, one thing I encourage you guys to do is make a post of how you feel, what you feel like you should be doing. Speaking your truth, jump online, make a post about it as soon as this is over. Like, what have you been feeling lately that you've wanted to share or talk about, but you stayed quiet because you thought that someone was going to say something? And talk about that. For you, Hannah, it's jumping online. Hi, hey, whatever it is I've been going through, I want to get away from it, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm so excited to share this journey with you. And you share the journey of the struggle of the parts that you're going through. And even as I'm saying this, some of you guys are feeling this. I'm feeling from you guys, like, you're this tightness in your chest. This is a block. This is exactly what a block is. Thinking about going online and sharing your truth, your real truth, that you're not okay and that you have been struggling, and that you're going to make it through, and you want to bring people along on that journey, that feeling of tightness, that's the block. But by saying it and speaking it, it comes out. It deblocks by speaking your truth. Okay? And on the auto spectrum, I've had 96 jobs. I'm good at. I'm supposed to do better. Yet, I don't know what my gift is. Well, I have to know a little bit more about everything you do, Josh. But I would say out of these 96 jobs, there was some kind of job that you liked. So if you missed yesterday, we talked about, think about the jobs think about what you've loved about your job, certain jobs you have. Like, think about, you have all these job lists of things you've done in your life. What were some of the parts that you loved the most about it? Like the descriptions, and you write that out. And why did you leave this job? What was missing from there? And you'll have a list. Now you have that list. Loved working with people, loved making people happy, loved that I got to speak my mind, loved that you'll have a positive list. And now take that and create something with that. So if it's helping people, whatever it is, and tie your story into that. Because your brand, your personal brand is you and your story. Like if you just dumped online and said, I've had 96 jobs, like exactly what you just wrote right now, so many people would reach out. This would be your truth. This is something that's important. The process of you trying to figure it out and sharing that is what liberates you so many times, because it lets people understand, like, wow, I'm not alone. I thought I was the only one. Josh, you don't think that there's hundreds of people, thousands of people out there that are the same? Like they're just working a job that they don't even care about or like, but they're just doing it because they don't even know what else to do. And they haven't taken that action to try to figure it out. You being here is taking action to try to figure it out. That's the first step. You're winning. You're still here. You're still trying to figure it out. Now it's about taking an action, jumping into online platform. It's not about a job. Not about a job. Sharing your truth is building that tribe of people. So speak your truth. Hey, had 96 jobs. It's since 2000, trying to figure things out. I know that there's more to life. And just start talking. Your soul will know what to say. As soon as you say that, because maybe you don't say that in the online space, start saying that and see what comes up for you when you start talking about that. This is that would be one of the best things I could give you off of the little that I know right there. I firmly believe that what we're attracted to are guideposts to our next step. Absolutely. Whatever we're attracted to. And we feel it. We feel that energy, but over time we just start to deny it. Just like anything else. We just put it away, condition. Every time I did that, I was rejected. Boom, done. So this is something very important. Great point, Tiffany. Okay, whoo, little rant. And you need to understand that there's something that you love to do, something that you love, you enjoy, whether it's cooking, whether it's going for hikes, whether it's drinking coffee. And what you need to understand, there's someone making millions of dollars doing that. There's someone making money for doing what you love to do. Something that you do for fun. And one thing this might help you out as well, Josh, is what would you do anyways? What would you do anyways? Start right there with your side hustle. Like you sound like you like helping people, soldier, helping people with autism. You like helping people. You don't like leaving people behind. These are patterns that I see in you, just from your one sentence here. And this is where you need to start. So I see a pattern of someone who is somewhat of like a hero, helping people, the people that people forgot about, the soldier's mentality of not leaving no man behind, the salesman for trying to change someone's perspective into selling. That's all it is energetic exchange. And this is where you need to start. You've got some patterns here. Now you have to fit that into what can you do. Talking to people online about their struggle. This is a great start. And you're not forgetting anyone behind. You're not leaving anyone behind, because you're speaking to everyone, or you're speaking to a certain group of people when you talk. This is something you need to remember. And as I'm saying, someone's doing what you love and getting paid. Something that you would do every day, someone's getting paid for it. Video games, someone's getting paid for that. Watching TV, there's people who review TV shows and they're getting paid for that. Eating at restaurants, I know some crazy foodies who are getting paid good money and eating for free, talking about it. And the problem is you just don't believe it. You don't realize it. You're not aware of that. You're not aware of someone is making a coffee and they're sponsored by a coffee company because all they did was talk about coffee all the time, and the coffee place found them, saw them, sponsored them. Now they have coffee for the rest of their life. They're getting paid to talk about coffee, and they love coffee anyway. So it's just a win, 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 win. It's something to understand. You have to believe it. We think we have to see it to believe it. Like, I'm not going to believe that I can do this until I see it, until I see the people watching, until I see the people buying this, until I see all this. It doesn't work like that. When you believe it, that's when you see it. If you're waiting to see something to believe it, no, it doesn't work like that. Because if you don't believe it, how are you going to see it? Like, if you don't believe it, like, I'm not going to believe that I can do this until I see myself make money from it. And once again, if someone told me that, I'd be like, wow, you sound like you have an attachment problem. You have an attachment to the outcome. So that's what holds you back. You have an attachment. And like I say yesterday, and I say this probably every day to people who I'm talking to, or if I'm working with someone, you have an attachment problem to the outcome. You have an attachment to how this should go. You have this thing, I know it has to do this. So you have an attachment problem. And if you have an attachment problem, that means you have a codependency problem. So if you have a codependency problem, it means that you have an addiction problem. So you see how we just got there real quick, a nice little tippy toe into an addiction, a nice little addiction to have validation. Sadly enough, most of the time we seek validation from people who are not valid, people whose opinions are not valid. Like, it's sad to say this, but a lot of people's opinions aren't valid. Like, what makes this person's opinion valid? They don't even know me. We don't even know ourselves. We're trying to figure ourselves out. So how can someone else tell us what we need to do? So you have to believe something, and then you'll see it. Because it's whatever you make it. You know, I had someone who I would say I'm working with, but I'm really more so helping them. Well, I guess I'm working with them. They're like a secret client of mine. And they wrote me yesterday, and they were telling me, you know, Luke, I appreciate this, and they've been going through a lot, and I've been helping them out. And you know, they told me, they're like, I have a big week ahead of me, and I have a strong week ahead of me, and I'm gonna get it done. Don't worry, I'm not freaking out. It's not like the light at the end of the tunnel is a train. It is the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna get out, and thank you. And it just hit me. I was sitting in this restaurant working yesterday, and I was like, that's it. Like, we're in this tunnel, and we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is whatever we believe it to be. Because we're like, no, it's not a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a train. Because I have to see that it's a light at the end of the tunnel for me to believe it. I have to see that it's good before I believe it. And the problem with that is, because if you believe that that's a train, then you're going to walk like it's a train. You're going to be cautious like it's a train. You're not going to speak up like it's a train. You're going to be worried like it's a train. So your whole energetics, think about how your body would walk down a tunnel if you saw a light coming at you, you thought it was a train. Totally different than someone walking down knowing it's a light at the end of the tunnel. Totally different. And it's that energetic difference, believing that it is the light at the end of the tunnel, the way you move, the way you talk. That's the difference between energy. It's that simple. It's that simple. And it's what you make it. That light is whatever you want it to be. And the way you go about heading there determines what it is. So people are like, well, I don't know. I don't want to fail at it. I don't want to fail at this creating this thing. I don't want to fail at trying this new hobby. Well, if you really feel at night when you lay down and go to sleep and you're not happy, you're not feeling fulfilled, and you know you should do something, but you don't want to fail at it, you're already failing. You're already failing because you're not listening to your soul. You're not doing what you know you should be doing. So with that mentality, it's like, why wouldn't you go out there? And that was something I heard one of my mentors saying. Then they topped it off is because you're not doing it, you're compounding your feelings. Anytime you compound a feeling, you lock the feeling in place. So if you feel disappointed that you haven't spoke your truth right now, and you feel sad about the disappointment, you've compounded the feeling. And you don't get out of a compound feeling. So you feel sad, you feel just exhausted, and you feel worried, and you feel angry at yourself. You've gotten like 6 compound feelings locked into place. And it's almost like, just don't beat yourself up. It's the number one thing I tell people. Like, stop beating yourself up first. Stop, just stop. Like we dig ourselves in this hole of people don't like me. I've tried this before. This isn't working. I'm so lost with what I do, but I can dig my way out of this hole. I'll figure it out. And it's like your soul, let me be the messenger for your soul to tell you as you're digging your way, trying to dig out of this hole, put down the shovel. Put down the shovel. Because we get caught in this is like, I don't know what to do. And it's, no, stop. Breathe. Because the protection, the ego, all this stuff is talking loud, but your intuition, your soul is saying something. I think it was Tiffany who said, what you're drawn to is your guidepost. If it's helping people, my guidepost is empowering people. If this is my guidepost for me, empowering people, then everything that I do, if I'm ever in question, I say, does this empower people or not? Yeah. If it does, then okay, I'm going to do it. Very simple. You have that guidepost, and it's so important, and we just sometimes forget it. And understand, like I say, people are making money doing something that you love to do. There's someone already doing it. There's people already doing it. Just believe that. And then you'll start to see it everywhere. It's called your I forgot what it's called. I think it's called your reticular function. It's something else. There's another word. Your cognitive reticular function is the name of it. Your cognitive reticular function. So what this does in your mind is, it's like I want you to think about your best friend's car, for example, or your dad or your mother, your brother, your friend. They get a new car. And the second they get this new car, you start to see everyone have this car. Everyone has this car. Like, what? Everyone has this car. I never even noticed it before. Because it wasn't necessary for you to notice it before, so your brain just blocked it out. But now that you've activated that, because you had to wait to see it to believe it, but if you believed in that car already, you would have already seen it everywhere. And your mind does the same thing, the same energetics with what it is that you want to do. Because you don't think it's possible, you're not going to see possibilities. It's very simple logic. So what you need to do is when you see it, when you believe it, then you'll start to see it everywhere. When you believe that people are happy everywhere in the world, you'll see happy people everywhere in the world. If you believe that everyone's sad in the world, then you'll see that. You'll see it all the time. And when you understand that, when you believe that someone's doing what you love and making a lot of money doing it, then you'll start to see it. And this is how it works. The easiest example is back when I was living in France, like a year ago, or a year and a half ago, I never cooked. So for like 8 years, I never cook. Like, I don't cook. It's not my forte. Not really good at it. I've always had someone cook, or I just go out to eat all the time. Most of the time, I just go out. I go out I think my whole pro career. I just went out to eat at restaurants all the time. I had my favorite restaurants. They knew what to cook, what I wanted. If I was on like a vegan spiel or a vegetarian or meat or pasta, I had my different moods for the month. And one day I started thinking, like, I want to start cooking. I want to go on, I think I was going on a plant-based diet at this time. And I found a lot of potatoes, broccoli, and carrots. And then I was like, well, let me change it up because I'm still feeling kind of hungry. I'm going to have some rice. And I wanted to have basmati rice because I tried it and I loved it. It's real sticky kind of rice. It's everywhere here in Asia. And I didn't know how to make basmati rice. I never cooked rice before. I don't know how to make rice. I don't know how to make rice. I never made it. I just order it. So when I went online on YouTube to look at the video for how to make rice, the video on how to make basmati rice had 3.9 million views. That's probably like 50, 60, $70,000 for that one video that person made. It was filmed on a phone. The person, they had their phone like this. They were shaking it, but they were explaining everything. I learned from that video. I watched that video like 10 times, learning how to make basmati rice. And that person got paid for that. And then I looked at their channel because I was a YouTuber, so I'm very curious into that. And they had hundreds of videos of making all this stuff, all filmed on a horrible phone, a horrible quality. And it brought value to me. I learned how to make basmati rice. I learned how to put like some spices in it. I learned how to do a lot from that. From basmati rice, from someone teaching how to do basmati rice. As crazy as that sounds. And this that's how it works. It's something simple. That's it. Basmati rice provided so much value for me. I probably would have donated money if they had a way for me to do it because it helped me out so much. I made basmati rice for like a few months after that, I think. So this is just something that people need to see. And at the same time, you see how when I just told you that story, this is for you, Hannah, when it comes to the bus. How I told you that story about the basmati rice, now it's just ingrained. I don't even think about it till right now because I'm in like teaching Coach Luke right mode right now. But how I just told you that story is how you need to tell your stories. It's a good guide because now you know, oh, he was a pro athlete. Oh, he lived in France. Oh, he doesn't like to cook. He goes to restaurants a lot. He knows a lot of cooks. He sometimes goes on uh, these little moods of having vegetarian diet, vegan. I don't want a vegetarian diet. Probably until today. It's been like almost a month. And yeah, and he likes having basmati rice. You just learned 8 things about me. You learned 8 things about me right there. Whether you wanted to learn it or not, if it came up, you'd remember, oh, that one guy, Luke, who I took this thing with, he knows it. Or my coach, Luke, knows this. You learned 8 things about me by telling you what I just said. Because I wrapped my story in the information that I was about to tell you. So when you guys are telling your story and you're talking about something, don't just give a fact. We don't remember facts like that. We remember stories. So when you're working on your brand, when you're working on this, remember to tell your stories in those kind of ways. Let people know who you are. Let people know how, man. Like, so if someone's like, I don't know, what would be something someone would ask? Um, uh, what have you learned about traveling? And you'd be like, well, hey, I'm retired 53-year-old and I've always loved traveling my whole life. I've never had the opportunity to until right now. So I decided to go to this place in Barcelona. So I've learned a few things about traveling, I think. And it's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm happy I did it. You just answered the question, giving like 6 or 7 things about yourself that just was interwrapped in the answer, which helped them remember what you said. And you told them about yourself. You just created your first story. So this is one of the most important things to remember. Wrapping your story in what you say. That kind of had nothing to do with the money, but that's everything to do with your brand. And your brand is your money because your brand is what people see. Your brand is what gets attention, and money will always follow attention. If you look at athletes, why, how can they pay this guy $100 million a year? Well, because he brings in 500 million people watching, and that's about $1 billion. So he gets about 10% of that, which adds up to right. And that adds up about perfectly. You know, so were there any questions, real quick, before we get into this last little part? I thought today was going to be short, but sometimes it gets good. We good? We good? Everyone good? All right. So this last little part, when it comes to money, I did not always believe it. I didn't think it was possible to ever make money doing what I loved. I never thought it was possible to make money just being who I was. See, my goal, if you guys remember, I asked you guys at the very beginning how you want to make your money. And in the beginning, I wanted to make my money, more importantly, I wanted to make my money being me. That's what I wanted to do. That was my overall goal. I want to make money being me. Who I am, what I like, what I do. I want to be myself and make money. I don't want to put on a mask every time I pick up the camera or every time I write a post. I want to be myself because it's powerful. Because whether I'm living in Bali, whether I'm living in Chicago, whether I'm living in New York, whether I'm living in Florida, whether I'm living in Spain, whether I'm living in France, it doesn't matter where I'm living at, I can be myself. And it doesn't change. I evolve, but people evolve with me. People will leave, people will come. That's just part of life. And I'll try to keep this story real quick since we're running a little bit over time, um, or we're behind in the. I was trying to get talking faster, but in Barcelona, my favorite nightclub is Jamboree. This is a club in Plaza Real. If you guys ever go to Barcelona, I spoke to one of my friends in Barcelona like just before this call. They gave me a call. Um, And in Plaza Royale, there's this nightclub called Jamboree, my favorite nightclub. I go there all the time. For 5 years living in Barcelona, I went to this club every single Saturday that I was there. And one day I go there all the time. I know everyone, the security, the owner, the bar people, the people in the VIP. I know everyone. And every time I go, I'm the same. I'm with my friends, we're laughing and joking. And on this particular time, I remember I was there in this club and I was just being myself. We're having fun. I'm with my friends. There's a little VIP section. I was there with my friends. We're all laughing and joking. And one thing I always do is I always go down to the dance floor. I'll always leave if I'm in a VIP with friends, they know everyone, so we're always there in a little corner. We're all at the table. As I go down to the dance floor, and I'm just standing there. I think I have a bottle of champagne. I'm just giving it out to people and just having fun. I'm always in the middle, just like I love to be among the people. That's just like my thing. And as I was there, and I've told the story before on YouTube, so maybe you've heard it, but as I was there, this guy walks over to me and he's like, "Oh man, you look like you're having so much fun." I was like, "Oh, thanks, bro." I was like, "Here, you want some champagne?" He's like, he's like, no, here." And I was like, "What?" He's like handing me something. And I'm like, man, this dude's trying to give me drugs. I don't want drugs. And most of the time people think I sell drugs because I don't know, I'm big and black and I'm in a club. Like this happens to me all the time, especially in big cities like Berlin, Barcelona, Paris. Everyone's like, "Hey, can you I'm like, "Oh man, no, I'm just here." And the guy hands me something in my hand, hands me money, and I'll shorten the story up. And I thought it was like $5. I was like, "Bro, what are you giving me money for?" He's like, "Yo, you look like you're having just such a great time. I just want to be part of it if I want to come later." And I was like, "Bro, man, you don't have to give me money for that, man. You can just come and you can party with us and joke around." I said, "No, I just want to stay here." I was like, "All right, cool." And then I'm like I drink some of the champagne, I'm there, and I look at my hand, I'm like, "Oh, he gave me like 50 euros. And then I'm like, "Well, here, just take the bottle, like of champagne. Like they just gave it to us. So I'm like, here, take it, man." He's like, "Yeah, thanks, man. You look, you're having so much fun. I just want to know, maybe I'll come there later just to be a part of what you're doing." I was like, "Sure, man. Do you want anything? I can bring you back down, anything." He's just like, No. I just want to let you know, man. You just like you're having a great time." I was like, "Okay, thanks." And I go back out with my friends. Long story short, I'm about to leave. I go and say thank you to this guy for this money. He gave me like 50 euros. I was like, "Yo, thanks so much." My friends are still up there. Ask for I forgot the name. Dima, he'll let you into the VIP if you want to go with my friends. And he's like, okay, yeah, thanks. And he's like, and I was like, "I don't need your money though." I told him that. And he's like, "No, I'm a professional hockey player in Canada." He's like, "It's nothing to me." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And as I left the club, and I wake up the next morning, and I reach my pocket, I'm like, "I have $50. What do I have 50 euros for?" And then I open it up, and it's 150 euros. And as I woke up that morning, it just clicked on me. Whoa, I just got paid to be who I was. I didn't have to think about anything. I didn't have to act like I was having a fun time. I just was me. I was myself. I was who I was, and I just got paid for it. And that for me was the seeing it before you believe it. And that was one of those, I believed that was fun, but I didn't know I could do that. And it took that moment. A lot of times we get those hits that show us that it's real and we should be believing it. And we don't take those hints. And I remember riding back to my car to drive back into France for practice the next day because I was living on the border of Spain and France. So I was driving back into France for practice. And I remember riding my bike and stopping in front of the Arc de Triomphe in Barcelona. And I put my phone down, put my headphones in, and I made my first YouTube video. So if you guys have time, watch my first YouTube video. That's exactly what happened that night before. It's why I looked tired. It's why I made that entire video because of that. That was like, I'm gonna start YouTube. Because YouTube, I can show myself who I am. And I believe in myself now that when the right people see me, they'll fall in love with me. They'll love the person who I am. They'll believe in the value that I can provide for people. And I'm going to help millions of people. These are my thought processes. And if I were waiting for a sign for that, I would have never known. If I would have waited for a sign, should I make this video? Or I don't know if I should do this. But I took the action. And when I made that video and I felt that throbbing in my chest as I uploaded it, that was my sign I was going the right way. We feel that throbbing and we get nervous, we back up. When we get scared, we have our two responses are fight or flight or freeze. And when I feel those, that means I'm going down the right path a lot of times. That means you're facing a challenge. Can you stand up for the challenge? Are you willing to hold up to this? And this is something that is very important because most people freeze and they do nothing. And this is one of the worst things that you can do, I believe. Doing nothing. Even making a mistake lets you learn something. From a mistake, you learn, you get an experience, you get a memory, or you get success. But from doing nothing, you learn nothing. You learn nothing from freezing. You learn nothing. You learn by trying and understanding that failure is just feedback. Failure isn't like, oh, you can't do this. I tried to make videos before and I wasn't good at it, but I just decided to try it again. I saw an opportunity. I saw YouTube fit that same profile of the things I love about basketball. I saw that I could get attention. I saw that I could make money from it. I didn't know how to make money from it, and I didn't care at that time. It was about speaking my truth and putting myself out there. And this is one of the most important things to remember. And yeah, I did get a 150 euro sign, but at the same time, that could have been like I could have taken that 150 euros like, oh, that's cool, that's awesome. I got 150 euros, and because the guy saw me as a pro athlete and wanted to party with me, that's nothing new. I get a lot of energetic things like that. We see money as the only energetics. I get into every single club for free all the time. So in my 12 years of playing, I went out like every single night almost, 3 nights a week at least, or 4 nights a week. I was getting into the club for free because of who I was, because of me. I didn't take those signs for 6 years before. I'm going to Barcelona where some of these clubs are 100 euros for entry, going into Opium during New Year's, 150 euros for entry. I'm getting in for free. We're getting into VIP section. Or I go to any place I love. We're not waiting in line. We're going straight in. That's energy. That's the energetic exchange. It's not money. It's not 150 euros, but that's a good energy exchange. Like who I was having at the end of all the games, people are like, "Oh, can you take a picture with me? Hey, can you do this? Hey, my daughter loves you. Hey, my son really." That's a sign as well. I didn't see it. That's a sign that, oh, you're a good person, and some people actually like you for who you are. The people who stopped me in the store and talked to me about other things other than basketball, they liked me for who I was, but that wasn't a good enough sign for me. So think about analyzing my story. Look at all the time that I wasted because I didn't take the sign. I didn't take the action. What if I would have made a YouTube video before? If I would have believed it? I didn't think I could, so of course I couldn't. But imagine if I didn't have to wait for that sign. If I could have just made a vlog. I wish I would have done it 10 years ago, 12 years ago when I started, 13 years ago when I started my pro career. It would have been awesome to look back on my memories of playing in Australia or playing in Germany, like these times when I was really lost and people would have saw a different side of me. And I didn't take that. It took actually seeing money. But imagine if that night didn't happen. I probably wouldn't be on YouTube. I'd be playing basketball right now and just having fun and enjoying my life, which I am now, but I feel much more fulfilled. This is why I say this to you guys, because you can feel so fulfilled, And I think that one of the biggest things is all of us, hold on, I think I saw a comment. Yeah. Yeah, but someone pay you just for being Luke. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing is, I've had plenty of times, there were so many opportunities. Like there were times when people are like, hey, we'd love to have you back to speak to our class, or we'd love to have you talk about this. And there are plenty of opportunities. I never saw it. And this is the thing for most of us. We have so many opportunities. We have so many things, we just don't see it. And yeah, it took that $150, and it took me all the years learning up to it. And at this point in my life, I was trying to figure things out. Other than basketball, I wanted to do something else on the side. This had been on my mind. I tried writing a blog post. I tried doing everything. And that was like the final thing where I'm like, I need to just be myself. And I can get money doing it. And this was the big thing. And I started on that. And that was just my little story of what really got me. So the question I have for you guys is, what's in alignment with you? There's no one way to do it. What is the way that you can share your story? That you can put yourself out there, and in a way that has the potential could change your life and bring you in money. So if you're trying to get money, you got to be out there. People need to know who you are. You got to have people's attention. And the money doesn't come how you like. People think that I make money from just the AdSense and everything, or selling something. You know, in the very beginning, I didn't ever, 2 years into my pro career, my YouTube career, I never sold anything. And there wasn't really a lot of money coming in for it. I didn't really have anything. I didn't know what to sell, but I just shared. And I just shared and that got attention. And then the first time when I did open up I'm like, okay, well, I need to have a way for people to give me money. Now I opened up a PayPal for people to send money to me and donate money and support me. And that was the thing that changed me, which I had no idea about. Like, I had no idea that would be the thing. You know, I made more money in that first month after 2 years now of providing value for people and just putting myself out there selflessly, that I was just like, oh, if you guys want to support me, you can. And I still say that. And people will still donate and still help because of the value that I provided. We said that at the very beginning of this video. And yes, I got paid to be myself, but that's how I wanted to get paid. And because I wanted to get paid to be myself, I was ready for when the opportunity came. If I wanted to get paid on making YouTube videos on teaching people basketball and someone gave me $150, that wouldn't bother me so much. I wouldn't be like, oh, wow, awesome. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'd be like, yeah, he gave it to me, cool. There's been plenty of times things have happened and I didn't think anything of it. I remember on New Year's, like this was like 2 years ago, I made a vlog about it actually when I was with my friends and I flew to Barcelona before I flew back to Paris to practice. I had a day free from basketball, and we went into this club and we were sitting at this table for New Year's, and this is a $5,000 table to sit at, and it was a $40,000 table to sit at, and I was over there with these people because they invited me over there. That was money. It wasn't in my hand, but the value that showed the value. It showed the value that you have. Because we think of money and payment as I'm getting this money because this is energy, but opportunities, the opportunities that you have. When I traveled and I was meeting people and people loved to talk to me and I stayed in the hostels and talked to people for hours every single night, that's an energy exchange. That was an energy exchange. I got offered jobs. I got offered places to come to help them with tourism. They didn't give me cash, but they gave me opportunity. Opportunity is sometimes better than cash. I got a sponsored video where they could have paid me money. Not a lot. They could have given me a couple $100 to talk about this guide, Influencers Guide to Bali. But instead, I decided to take a 2.5-hour intensive meeting with this person one-on-one to learn more about strategizing and how to reach out to brands and hotels. That was a more energetic exchange than €400. As crazy as it sounds, because that means more in the long run. So this is something that is important to remember. And I'll try to wrap this up really quick. It takes one person, one brand, one thing, one video, one post that can change your life completely. It takes one person to see it. One right brand, Hannah, for one brand that has a company that has a bus or that has a van life, one company to say, hey, we have a van, we want you to be our sponsor. Or one person, if you want to talk about whatever it is you've been struggling with, some brand will reach out to you. It just takes one person to see that. Another thing that I have here, actually I have just a couple things I have on this list, and that's to support your passion and don't force it to support you. This is the problem that we make. We build a side hustle, we build something on the side, and we want it to make us money fast. Like, make me money. Like, you want something that's going to support you for the rest of your life. You want it to happen like this. In the beginning, you have to support your passion. If you're working a job right now, it's great because you can put the money you make, instead of going out to restaurants or whatever, invest it back in your brand. And to think like, well, yeah, invest $1,000 into your brand, into yourself, that's learning, that's getting the whatever you need to do it. Like, invest it, because in the long run, that's nothing. To invest $1,000 into your whatever, $100 into something that's going to make you millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's nothing. And if you see that is a lot, then you don't believe that you can make the money back, is what you're saying. That's technically what you're saying. You're saying that to God. You're saying that to the universe, whatever you want to call it. That's what you're saying. Like, it's not worth this extra $100, but you want it to make you money. You're not willing to invest that. There's something that doesn't add up there. So And also, the next thing is the platforms. You want to make sure that there's platforms out there for you guys. Once you start to provide the value, you put yourself in the content. This is why I tell people don't worry about the money in the beginning, because you need to get used to sharing content. And if you look at it from a money standpoint, you're like, well, I'm not making money and I just put my heart out there. No, consistently putting your heart out there. Consistency, putting yourself out there, talking about this, talking about that, talking about that on all the different platforms. Use the different platforms to show the different sides of you. Is one thing to remember. So one thing that you need to ask, like I say before, after you've been doing this, after you get used to speaking your truth, putting yourself out there, then you can ask yourself, how do you sell it? But if you don't have anything out there, what are you selling? What are you selling? Because me, I was selling myself, basically. Sounds crazy, but no, it was my opinions, my thoughts, the way that I think, the way that I have the love for helping people. Now, how do I sell that? I'm still working on that. I have master classes. I'm going to start one-on-one coaching with people, charging more money for it because my value's up here now. But you got to raise that up, raise your frequency higher so the right people hear you. Staying small, just small people hear you, and small people don't care. When you raise your frequency, that's when you get the real people. Like you guys are in this course. I was going to make this course like $10. Like I didn't know, like this is old Luke thinking. I still like replay it because I'm like, wow, Luke, you have no idea your value. I was gonna make it $10. I would have probably got hundreds of people to join from YouTube, to be honest. So I don't even know how many people have joined. Possibly hundreds of people could have joined. And I would feel good, like, yeah, I got a lot of people in it, cool, made some money, blah, blah, blah. But how you make your money? You're helping people who probably don't really care about themselves. It's not an investment. All of you guys invested in this. It took you thinking like, do I actually want to give this to make my life better? So by me raising that standard, it makes you have to be like, wait, I have to give my, like, I'm giving this energy. Yeah, it's forcing you, it's empowering you to make this choice. Do you want to do this? So now you're here. Now you pay attention. Now every word matters to you because the frequency that I raised was higher. If I kept it low, I kept low energy people. So then when I tell them, hey, do you guys want to work for me? Work with me? Yeah, of course. We can do a 2-month thing for $2,000. Perfect. People who paid $5 or $3 for a class, they're not even looking for that. It's not an investment. They don't think twice about it. Oh, $3 to join for 3 days? Nah, I don't know. And me, I wouldn't sign up for it. I wouldn't sign up for something like that. I've paid hundreds of dollars for certain classes and courses to be a part of because I believed in that was worth it. And this is important about of raising your frequency, your who you are, your vibe, your energy, because that's what you attract. Like you guys are the questions you guys ask. I don't have to worry about someone in here asking, hey, when's the next time you're going to travel here? Hey, how tall are you? If this was a live session that I did this exact thing on YouTube, 90% of the people would be like, hey, so when you coming here? Hey, how do I get into Bali? These are the questions. But as you raise your frequency, all those people go away. Now you're working with serious people. And when I have another price point of another masterclass, if I charge $500 for a master, doesn't even matter the number, $700 for a masterclass. The people there, imagine that. And imagine your mindset having to think, do I want to invest this? Do I want to invest this $700 to be in a 3-week course with them? Do I want to? Now I'm forcing you to make an empowerment decision. How bad do you really want to learn, to improve and invest in yourself? So that's really important. And one of the last things that I will say as we're getting to the end is how is your story attached to what it is that you're selling? What it is that you're putting out there? How is your story attached to it? Joshua, you have an awesome story. Like, I'm sorry, that's just an amazing story. Working 96 jobs since year 2000, that shows a lot of perseverance. And I want you guys to look at yourself in a way that's like, wow, what is it? How do I feel about that? Like, what are the patterns there? Like, yeah, I'm persistent. Like, I love helping people. Like, I believe in team. I believe in working together. Look at these patterns that you have in what you've done and the reasons why you've done it. And use that and filter that into love of what you loved about it. And now make that into something. And you guys have to believe in yourself. One thing that, if we were, I would try to do it now, but it's not the same thing because I can't see you guys. I wish this was a Zoom call. But I want you just to think right now to yourself. All right. If we were in a live thing, I would probably call you guys out one by one and have you say this 21 times. But we're like this, and so you're gonna have to do it where you are and not say it 21 times, just say it 11 times. Okay. I want you to look at yourself right now. Okay. Maybe sit up straight. It's been a while. Okay. And I want you to think about yourself right now. Close your eyes if you have to. Take some deep breaths right now, whatever makes you feel relaxed. And I want you to say 11 I am statements. Okay, you can say it out loud. If you're watching this with someone, you guys can both say it in your head. Don't be shy. And I want you to say 11 times I am. I am strong. I am beautiful. Whatever it is that you have to say, take a few moments to just do that for yourself right now. And I'll do it as well. I'm strong. I'm valuable. I'm amazing. I'm happy. I'm loving. I'm energy. I'm caring. I'm supported. I'm supportive. I'm learning constantly. I'm beautiful. That's 11 for me. And this is important. You have to believe what you are. You have to really deep down believe that you are this. And if you felt a little emotion come up as you say these words, it's normal because maybe you haven't heard that in a long time. Maybe you've never heard that. Maybe you've never heard that you're appreciated. You've never heard that you're supported. Maybe you've never heard that from someone. So you've just believed that you're not. You believe that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough. So reframing these I ams are huge. And I would beg of you guys to do this on your own time, but do 21. Look in the mirror, say it 21 times, 21 different I am statements, looking at yourself. You'll feel the emotion come up. You'll feel like these feelings as you tell yourself this over and over again that, wow, I am this. I am beautiful. I am amazing. I am powerful. I am strong. Because you have to believe that in yourself as well. You have to believe that. And then you can come out and say it to other people. But when you're out of alignment with yourself and you don't believe in yourself as much as you think you do, and you need to get to a point where you can say those things without feeling anything, without feeling any shame, and actually believing it. And the more you say it, the more you believe it. And this is the thoughts that I will share with you in this day 2 of Side Hustle Magic. I love you guys. I want the best for you. And you understand when it comes down to money, when it comes down to anything like that, it's all energetics. It's all energy. Energy is energy is energy. You guys are here. You give an energetic exchange to be here. I give an energetic exchange to be here. Everything is energy. And if you forget that, you're forgetting a big part of what life is. We're all energy. And we're all searching to be fulfilled. We're looking for that fulfillment. All of you are here for that. It's a powerful thing to want to be fulfilled. And to be fulfilled doing what you love is one of the most powerful, liberating things ever. Imagine just waking up to money. Imagine waking up and speaking your truth. Imagine waking up and feeling so grateful for who you are in your life and jumping online and sharing your thoughts on it. Imagine seeing something that doesn't look right. You don't believe in that. You think something could be different, and you're jumping online instantly and talking about it, making a post about it, making a video about it, writing a blog about it, recording a podcast about it. This is what it's about. This is the energy that's required to do it. And what it takes for you guys to break through this, what's holding you back, that energy is what frees you. It's that energy that liberates you. Most of the time, we waste the energy that we have, the energy required to break a belief system, the energy required to break a story that you're telling yourself that just is not true, the story that you've just been believing for all this time about yourself. With the energy you need to break that and change the story, you're using to defend that story. You're using to defend that you're not good enough. You're using it to defend that I don't really know how to, I don't know, I've always been told I'm not great at it. And not only that, to top it off, you've mastered defending it. You've mastered talking yourself out of what it is that you really want to do, not a job title. We define what we do by a job title. I don't have a title to describe what I do. I want to help people find fulfillment in their lives. What's the job title for that? I don't really care. I care about the results and I want to help people. So now I need to decide, how am I going to do that? And you don't wait for a sign. You literally do it. You do it. And that feeling you get is your sign. That's all for me, guys. Any last questions? Is there anything before I close this out? Any last words? How are people feeling? It's weird because it's not a Zoom call, so I can't feel. I can't see you guys, so I don't know. I'm like, are people shocked? Are people like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Is everyone okay? And that went a little bit longer than I expected, but I hope you guys got something out of it today. You're welcome. You're welcome, Wendy. You're welcome. I forgot there's a lag to this. Yes, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you guys are amazing as well. Believe in yourself. Say those I am statements. Say them over and over and over and over again, as long as you need to say that. Say it before you go to bed tonight. I know it's late. I think Kim, it's you who is super late. Thank you for staying up for this. You and your family for watching this. I appreciate it. And yes, tomorrow should be a shorter session. It won't be as intense. Watch it as much as you need to. Thank you guys so much. Sending you much love, much support. Please reach out to me, guys. Any questions, anything like that, I can help you guys out. Instagram is great. Facebook, I'll try to see it as soon as I can. But yeah. And also, you don't have to understand everything or make sense of it. Your soul knows. Your soul knows. Remember that. The making sense of it, that's the brain trying to talk you out of it. You know it. You know it, guys. It's right here. It's right here. It's that quiet little voice. Thank you, guys. Same time tomorrow for day number 3. It'll be short and sweet and very insightful. But thank you guys so much. Love you guys. And yes, I'll speak to you guys all tomorrow. Same time. See you guys.